Hello everyone. Today I will introduce you to the film Dieu, créa, la femme aka and God Created Woman, released in 1956. Starring Brigitte Bardot, was so controversial that she later said she wished she'd never been born. But it seemed like controversy followed her throughout her life. It wasn't because she was looking for it. It was just who she was. Her role as Juliette was her big break. But it wasn't her first. It was the role that made her a global star. She was so sensual in the movie, and it challenged the old ideas about femininity from the 50s. Even when she was 17 and on the cover of Elle, she was redefining what was normal. A fashion historian said she embodied the young fille, a young, natural woman that hadn't been seen before in fashion or society. In And God Created Woman, Bardot became the symbol of sexual freedom. Her portrayal of Juliette captured the rebel spirit of icons like James Dean and Elvis, but with a feminine twist. She didn't just represent freedom, she embraced it and celebrated it. Unlike other characters seen as threats, Bardot didn't apologize for her sexuality. Instead, she expressed herself freely and happily. Most of the excitement around the film and Bardot came from people's imaginations, not what actually happened. Juliette, an 18-year-old orphan in a French fishing village, was the talk of the town. She defied expectations, rejecting a rich suitor to pursue Antoine, a local boat owner. After he planned to leave, she married his brother Michel out of anger. Though she had a brief connection with Michel, she quickly returned to her wild lifestyle, stealing a boat and seeing Antoine again. The film's final scenes, Bardot dancing barefoot, were shocking back then. There was this woman, so openly enjoying her body and sex without any shame. The film itself wasn't exactly critically acclaimed. Critics said the script was clunky and shallow. But it was a big hit at the box office, especially in the US, where it made over $4 million. It also caused a stir. Some states banned it, movie theaters were raided, and there were protests outside theaters. Even French intellectuals like Simone de Beauvoir and Raymond Cartier were talking about it. Cartier called Bardot immoral, but Beauvoir saw her as a symbol of liberation for women in post-war France. Looking back, Bardot and Juliette might not seem very politically liberated, but they definitely represented a change. The line between Juliette, the actress, and her character gets a bit blurry. She's basically playing Bardot in the movie, and while it might be awkward, her performance is genuine and spontaneous. Bardot, who never really claimed to be an amazing actress, brought an authentic touch to the role. Her then-husband, Vadim, helped create the story around his wife's natural charm. He described her as his wife, daughter, and lover, highlighting their complicated relationship. Simone de Beauvoir said that Bardot wasn't trying to shock anyone. She just followed her own desires, choosing pleasure over roles. She and Juliette made people rethink what it means to be a woman. Unlike glamorous stars like Garbo and Dietrich, Bardot represented something real, messy, passionate, and full of life. Her impact is undeniable, and people were captivated by her presence. She had an otherworldly quality, but while sex appeal can last forever, the movie used Bardot mostly as a showpiece, not a deep exploration of women's freedom. Juliette's so-called liberation was all about her looks and her relationships, but it lacked any real emotional depth or meaning.
Look for all the most delicious things by following the link in the comments.